here we go. Newest addition to the stable. This is a 1990 Volvo 240 wagon. It has an automatic transmission, and the odometer stopped at 278,000 miles, somewhere around, I don't know, 10 years ago, according to the maintenance records. So I'm speculating this car has over 300,000 miles. Our driveway is a little tight right now, so I will do my best. You can see there's a little bit of crazing on the hood. Got that similar issue on my 240 and other Volvos that I've owned. Usual slight oxidation of the headlights. This car was purchased through an estate, and it was owned by an older gentleman who did all of his own maintenance. He kept records, he took care of mechanicals, and more or less he did everything needed to keep this car on the road. And I got it for $500. Best I can tell, there's no real visible rust. There is just age and a little bit of schmutz here and there. Got your musty smell and your spider webs and things like that. Now, here's what he did on this car. We have a pair of tan seats in the back. You can kind of see them, right? And they were leather, and they matched the car, and they were torn. So what the previous owner did is he replaced them with this set of cloth seats, which I think these are actually gray. They look blue in some light, but I'm pretty sure they're gray. And these are not torn because the cloth seats, they never tear. Uh, those of you familiar with 240 seats might notice that the knobs are missing. That's because the knobs are on the inside. I don't know if that was on purpose or what, but you'll notice that there's also not really a center console that works. So it's sort of like a piece of plastic flipped upside down, and we can always take these seats out and put the left one in the right and the right one in the left, and then hopefully there'll be room for a center console. I'm not aware of there being any center console actually in the car, but in any case, there you go. There's your cluster, some assorted bits here and there. Factory Volvo stereo. Sorry about the lens flare. Assorted spare change. This is the car exactly as I got it. Okay, I have not done anything. We've got a glove box maybe sagging a little bit on the right side. More or less the doors are complete, but I'm missing the pockets on both doors. So let's go ahead and take a look under the hood. All right. So as you can see right away, we have the kind of owner who likes to leave documentation of things that he has done using blue painter's tape. Those are some major items, okay? We've got oil and filter change. We've got the type of oil that's been documented. We've got the water pump. We've got the, obviously, the flush and refill of the radiator. And then we have an actual timing belt sticker dated 2021. So this bad boy is basically where it needs to be, mechanically speaking. The engine bay is not particularly dirty, I don't think. It's adequate given the purposes. I don't see any major mods. There is a little bit of an oil leak over here. Kind of hard to see, but there is an oil leak. I'll try to get it in the shadow. in this area right here. So I've already got a valve cover gasket that I had earmarked for another project, and I'm going to go ahead and see if I can just put it on this car. We also have a thermostat that is probably stuck open because the heat works, but it's not scorching hot, and the temperature gauge doesn't get above a certain low number. So I'm thinking that's probably what we're dealing with. That's an easy fix. Of course, your thermostat is going to be behind this housing right here. It's very easy to change on these cars. You pretty much don't have to take anything out of the way to do it. I have a friend of mine who may already be interested in this car. This is not a keeper, this is a flipper. And ultimately, what I'm going to do is go through this car. I'm going to wash it. I'm going to clean the inside and the outside. And then I am going to fix the couple of mechanical things I noted, valve cover gasket and the thermostat. And then we're going to go ahead and see if my friend wants it or if I'm going to keep going or not. And if I am in fact going to keep going, then I'll probably go through and try to clean up a bunch of the interior bits a little bit more. Maybe we'll see about getting the center console. Maybe we'll see about getting some door pockets. Maybe we'll clean the engine bay. It's really kind of a question of how big is this going to get and how far are we going to go. So that's where we're at right now. Pretty awesome find. This car is running and driving. It tracks straight. The brakes don't pulse. It makes good power. It shifts like it should. A previous owner did do the overdrive switch bypass, so you cannot take it out of overdrive using the button on the shifter, but it does actually shift into fourth gear. So, I guess that's a common thing people do when they don't want to have that switch fail. But the light is on, the arrow light is on the dash while you're driving, but it will shift into fourth. So who knows? I don't know if the air conditioning works, but I do know that the heat works. And as far as safety is concerned, the only major thing that it needs is going to be the tires. So the tires are dry rotted. I did get some sweet moving blankets, but yeah, here's another testament to the storage capacity of a Volvo 240. Two full-size seats fit in here, and it wasn't even that hard. So you could see those are the originals. As I always say, cloth seats hold up a lot better in these old Volvos than their leather counterparts. So we'll go ahead and get this all sorted, cleaned out. I'll probably take the two seats out of the car and then go ahead and do a proper cleaning. There was a little bit of like a musty kind of smell, and so because it is part of an estate, it's probably been parked closed up for a couple of months at least, maybe more. So I've cracked the windows in the sun today, hoping that we can get some airing out, and so far that has been successful. I think that's pretty much all I have to say. Like I said, everything's here. The taillights have some chips. You've got a 200,000 mile high mileage badge over here. A lot of the stuff you traditionally find on these cars. The gentleman selling the car was a good friend of the man who passed away, and we had a great conversation because I went with my friend Brian to pick up this car, and talking with this other gentleman about his friend who passed away, who used to own this car. He told all these stories about how his friend owned over 100 cars in his lifetime, and he was always calling this guy to say, hey, can you give me a ride? I just bought this other car, yada, yada, yada. And so Brian and I had a good laugh because that's how we are. Literally, Brian took me to get this car. He's taken me to buy other vehicles. I've taken him to be a ride to buy other vehicles. And so it's just cool that, we found this thing. It was in the possession of an enthusiast, someone who liked to do their own work, like to do their own maintenance, take care of these vehicles and keep them on the road. And, I'm not sure who the next owner is going to be, but we are going to make sure that this car continues to have some life left in Volvo red block tradition. No matter the miles, it stays on the road as long as possible. And that is the goal here. So I can't save them all. This one doesn't really need saving. It just needs a slight brightening up, and then she will be back on the road. So that is all I've got for now. Feel free to leave any comments if you have any thoughts on any other work we should do on this car. but I will keep you all posted on any other updates. I may do one other video on maintenance and other things like that. And we'll get this one moving on to its next owner. So thanks again for watching. Hopefully we'll get back to you with some more Volvo content in the future. Cheerio.